And we're starting with The Nation. Major headline: Ministers defend Nigeria against Trump's targeted killings claim. National security remains a top priority for the Tinubu government. Nigeria's $2.35 billion Eurobonds records $13 billion subscription. That's high. Senate uncovers $300 billion crude loss. Government invests 12 billion naira in digital economy research. FIRS to explain Tax Reform Act. NNPCL plans 20% stake in Dangote refinery. I was deceived into pleading to false charge, says Kanu. Anyaun camp appeals ex parte order allowing PDP convention. And exploitation, FCCPC shuts textile warehouses in Kano. Man backs 15% tariff on imported petrol diesel. Who is going first?
Okay, so I'll take the major headline. The federal government has said it has the political will to fight and end terrorism in Nigeria. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this to newsmen in Abuja yesterday, flanked by the Minister of Solid Minerals, that's Dele Alake, as well as the cream of the president's media team, led by Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga. The Information Minister reiterated the United States America's designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, CPC, stemmed from a wrong perception and misrepresentation of the country's security challenges. He says our military and other security agencies are winning the war on terrorism, and the results in the past years, and most especially in the last 2 years of President Tinubu's leadership, are real and remarkable. He says we have made stringent efforts in curtailing access to small arms and light weapons by non-state actors. Security agencies have recovered and destroyed over 5,000 military-grade rifles and intercepted over 20 guns running networks in the past month. He says the administration has made multi-million-dollar investments in modernized equipment for our security agencies and has increased the defense and security budget. The president has always given the military his absolute support, and I assure you there is the political will to remove the last vestiges of this menace from our country. It is important to restate that the menace of terrorism in Nigeria does not exclusively target any religious or ethnic group, as in many parts of the world. Extremism is mindless, blind to religion, tribe, or class. They say it's a war against all peace-loving Nigerians and against the unity and progress of our great nation. They said many other things, saying that some of the support those people are even getting is also from the international bodies, which we are still looking into it. So,
Okay, so officials of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, the FCCPC, yesterday sealed 5 warehouses in Kano State for alleged measurement violations. The agency said that the warehouse were used for keeping undermeasured fabrics before they were sold to unsuspecting consumers. The agency's Director of Surveillance and Investigations, Boladale Adeyinka, explained that the operation was part of the Commission's broader effort to enforce compliance with the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018 and also safeguard consumer rights and ensure fair competition in Nigeria's markets. So they also said that the warehouse is the size of a stadium. You can imagine how big it is, that it's filled to the brim with millions of fabric bundles, including fashion Kampala. The officials said that the business scale was enormous, with billions of naira reportedly circulating monthly through deceptive transactions. So they've summoned the man in charge, Alhaji Habibu Ishmael, to appear tomorrow at his headquarters in Abuja, because they said that the warehouse and retail outlets, that they were shut down because people now reported that they are making a lot of money through deceptive trade practices involving the sale of undermeasured fabrics. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so I have the story on the Nigerians. They said they recorded $13 billion subscription. They said the Nigeria's 2.35 billion euro bond launched yesterday, and it attracted more than $13 billion subscription. They said the country's all-time high global subscription to an offer. They said the federal government offered two tranches of the year of 10-year and 20-year euro bonds maturing in 2036 and 2046 to the international capital markets. They said the issue made up of $1.25 billion, 10-year euro bond, and $1.10 billion, 20-year euro bond. They said the transaction attracted a peak order book of over 13 billion, like I stated earlier, marking the largest ever order book achieved by the country. Previously, what they got was 2.2 billion euro bond issued in 2024, and it only attracted 9 billion subscriptions. But this time around, of course, it's 13. So they said the overwhelming show of enthusiasm by the international capital markets for long-term investments in the country enabled the government to close the transactions at lower rates. They said that most of it came from countries like United Kingdom, North America, Europe, Asia, and Middle East, amidst strong enthusiasm by Nigerian investors. They said the president said the huge success recorded by the issue was an expression of continued investor confidence in the country's sound macroeconomic policy framework, prudent fiscal and monetary management. They said this new hope agenda is really yielding fruits.
All right, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the papers. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. We're still reviewing today's papers, and we're on the Daily Sun. Tinubu has political will to fight terrorism, says federal government. Tinubu, Sultan Uzodinma, governors, media personalities, headline editors conference. Oborevori, Wike, Irabo to grace maiden annual Ma Cultural Festival in Abuja. Senate moves to phase out petrol cars as Kalu's electric vehicle passes second reading. Interesting. Edo kidnapped seminarian dies in captivity. That is sad. PDP Board of Trustees set up reconciliation panel, supports Ibadan Convention. Shore accuses federal government of planning death sentence or life imprisonment for Nnamdi Kanu. Who's going?
Okay, so the Nigerian Senate has passed for second reading the Electric Vehicle Transition and Green Mobility Bill 2025, sponsored by Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, Abia North. The bill seeks to establish a comprehensive national framework for the transition to electric vehicles, that's the EVs, promote local manufacturing, ensure environmental sustainability, and position Nigeria as a leader in clean energy transportation in Africa. The bill, which was extensively debated on the Senate floor, outlines clear strategies for achieving Nigeria's transition to electric mobility through local content development, foreign partnership regulations, nationwide charging infrastructure, and coordinated interministerial framework. Now, leading the debate, Kalu said the proposed law is designed to transform Nigeria's automobile and energy sectors by promoting innovation, local assembly, and environmental protection, while creating thousands of jobs across manufacturing value chain. So he says this bill will help Nigeria move from dependence on fossil fuels towards a cleaner and sustainable energy system. It will ensure that our local industries benefit directly from the emerging global electric vehicle market, create jobs, and reduce emissions in our cities. And it says that the bill provides incentives such as tax holidays, import duty waivers, toll exemptions, subsidies, and road tax exemptions for electric vehicle users and investors, while also mandating the installation of charging points in all fuel stations across the country. And one of the key highlights of the bill is emphasis on local content compliance. It mandates that all foreign automakers seeking to operate in Nigeria must enter into partnership with licensed Nigerian assemblies and establish assembly plants within 3 years of operation. It said, furthermore, such companies must attain at least 30% local sourcing of components by 2030. Non-compliance attracts strict penalties, including the suspension of operations and a fine of 250 million per violation. I think this is a good one in supporting our local manufacturing and assembling of electric cars.
Yeah. Okay, so I have the story of, they said the Tinubu, Sultan, and the Uzodinma, that they said they are going to come for a personality award. They said the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, is bubbling as editors of print, online brokers, organizations, and new agencies under the umbrella of the Nigerian Guild of Editors arrived from across the country for their annual conference holding on November 12th and 13th. They said over 500 members of the NGE government officials, members of the business community, and diplomatic corps, as well as people from all walks of life, are expected at the two-day conference holding at the Presidential Villa Hall, Abuja. They said on the first day, they said the president will declare the conference open on November 12th at the Presidential Villa, while the Sultan of Sokoto, that's Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar, and Prince Induka and chairman of the Arise TV, they said will be chairman of the conference. And then they said Senator Hope Uzodimma will be the keynote speaker, emphasizing that the theme of the conference, that's democratic governance and national cohesion. They said the role of editors and sub-team, electoral integrity and trust deficits. Then on the second day of the conference, that's November 13th, at the Nigerian Air Force Conference Center, they said the former chief of the defense state, that's General Lucky Irabor, will speak on media, terrorism and national security, addressing the complexities, while Dane, that's the School of Postgraduate Studies, Bayes University, that's the Professor Abiodun Adeni, will interrogate the evolving face of journalism, battling misinformation, AI disruption and credibility gap.
Very
so
important
this is very
topics,
good, yes.
Amaka?
Yeah, this one is a sad news. I'm Catholic and this really pains me. The Catholic Diocese of Auchi yesterday announced the death of Emmanuel Alabi, one of the seminarians abducted by kidnappers who attacked the Immaculate Conception Minor Seminary at Isako East on July 10th this year. During that incident, 3 seminarians were abducted. 2 were released, but unfortunately, this seminarian, Emmanuel Alabi, lost his life in the course of the ordeal. So the bishop, may so rest in peace. So the bishop of the Diocese of Auchi, Most Reverend Gabriel Jr., has expressed his deep pain and sorrow over the loss of the young seminarian and has called on security agencies to intensify efforts towards protecting the lives and property of all citizens. He also cautioned and emphasized that politicians, our political leaders, they should stop turning a blind eye on worsening insecurities in Nigeria. They should prioritize the safety of we citizens, because this is, I don't know.
Yeah, it's truly a sad one.
Sad.
Let's look at the Vanguard. Major headline, foreign lobbies fueling genocide claims in Nigeria, according to the federal government. Senate mulls stiffer penalty for persons ripening fruits with harmful chemicals. About time. ASU accuses minister of misleading Nigerians, threatens to resume strike. Federal government sets up approval board for PPP projects. PDP crisis. Board of trustees stay neutral, urges reconciliation. Alleged terrorism. You have last chance to defend yourself, court tells Kanu. Tinubu, Sultan, Uzodimma, others, headline editors confirm. We've taken that. Nigeria's telco subscribers hit 173.5 million as broadband penetration reaches 49.3%. Interesting. And finally, we have Nigeria's $2.35 billion Euro bonds massively oversubscribed in excess of over $10 billion.
Yeah, so the Senate has said it would, through its relevant committees, amend extant laws to prescribe stiffer punishments for persons found guilty of ripening fruits through the application of harmful chemicals in the country. They also resolved that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in Nigeria, Agricultural Quarantine Services, that's NACS, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, that's FCCPC, and Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology, NICFOS, should increase the level of awareness by continuous sensitization and massive public enlightenment on the hazardous implications of chemical ripening of fruits in Nigeria. It said existing regulatory agencies mandated to undertake food safety and control should ensure enforcement through legal and regulatory means. Now, resolutions of the Senate yesterday was sequel to the presentation and consideration of the Senate Joint Committees on Health, Secondary and Territory, and Agricultural Services Productive Rural Development, chaired by Senator Ikbalibo Banigo, PDP Rivers West. And in the presentation, he said they had found a rise in dangerous and fraudulent forced ripening of fruits and raw calcium with the calcium carbide. They said they also found dangerous and fraudulent food handling practices such as cooking meat with paracetamol, preserving grains with sniper, that's the clovos, that's what it's called, washing of fruits and vegetables with detergents to enhance appearance, soaking of cassava in detergent or hypo, adding banned Sudan IV dyes in palm oil, that one I noticed it straight up, and red pepper, use of burning tires to remove animal furs from their skin, the pomo that we eat. They said that morpholine is also used as a waxing agent for fruits and vegetables. and those things are on the European list that they have banned in their countries. Is not even acceptable. He said the practices are linked to severe public health threats such as cancer, kidney and liver disease, and foodborne illnesses, including cholera and Lassa fever. They had made a research and found that many people came down with Lassa fever from cholera, Lassa fever from food intake, from all these things that you go to buy plantain, you bring the plantain, or a bunch of plantain, or green, you bring it home, the next day everything has ripened. Growing up plantain, when you get a bunch of plantain, it ripens individually. Yes, one. You know, okay, this one don't ripe, that one never ripe. Now, the full bunch, the next day everything has ripened because they soaked it in carbide. It's dangerous. I believe in the sensitization. Aside from the punishment that when they catch you, you will collect, I also believe in sensitization. People need to understand the impact of what they are doing. Many times it's just because of fast gain. Nobody can wait out the time to allow the fruits ripen naturally. They want to make more money. But if they know that they are killing themselves, because they eat some of these things that they do as well.
They will
each other.
Yeah. You can take one more short story. Who has one?
Okay, no, there's no story again.
No? Okay. All right then, that's all we can take on the papers today. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look at our hot topics for today. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.